Hey everyone, welcome to Bipolar Thoughts, where we dive into the stories that shape us in the minds that we live in. I'm your host, Steven, and today we're going to be talking about something very personal and very real. What it's like to grow up with undiagnosed bipolar disorder. It's not just about the mood swings or the dramatic moments you see in movies. It's about living your formative years feeling like something is off. You're on the wrong radio frequency and no one else hears the static but you. So, let's start with a few numbers to ground this story. According to the National Institute of Mental Health, an estimated 2.8% of U.S. adults had bipolar disorder in the past year. But here's the kicker. Many people aren't even diagnosed until years, sometimes decades after their first symptoms. The Depression and Bipolar Support Alliance reports that the average age of onset is 25, even though symptoms often appear in the late teens or earlier. I wasn't diagnosed until I was 30, so I feel like this average age of onset is kind of, I feel like that's where we catch it the earliest. I want to say that around 13 or 15 or even 18, feeling everything all at once all the time and not having any idea why is probably when the actual onset is. I want to say around 13 or 14 is whenever I started using alcohol and drugs to mask the way I was feeling. And I don't even think that I knew what I was doing. I just did it because I knew that when I was not sober, I felt way better than I did which I mean, I guess everybody does, but it was it's hard to explain. I don't think my high whenever I'm not sober, like if I get high, I don't think mine's the same as like normal people's, I guess, if that makes sense. Not in like I trip out and get schizophrenic or any kind of way like that. Nothing against that. It's just, I don't like see things. It wasn't anything like that. It was just more like my mind kind of quieted and calmed down a little bit. So for me and people like me, childhood didn't feel normal, but not in the way that raised alarms. One day you're a high achiever, you're talking a mile a minute, staying up for 3 nights because your brain says, we don't need sleep, we need to write a novel or rearrange the furniture at 3 a.m. And then you crash. You're sad, you're withdrawn, you hate yourself, but you tell the people around you you're just tired, stressed. You learn to mask it, to kind of normalize it. A psychiatrist, Dr. Kay Renfield Jamison, who herself lives with bipolar, once said, "This is a particular kind of pain, elation, loneliness, and terror involved with this kind of madness. When you're high, it's tremendous. The ideas and feelings are fast and frequent like shooting stars, but somewhere this changes. And when you're a kid, you don't even know what you're experiencing has a name. You start to think that you're the problem. You get labeled sensitive or dramatic or lazy. Maybe you're praised for being passionate, creative, or intense. But no one sees the price you pay when the pendulum swings the other way. Teachers chalk it up to puberty. Parents might say you're just moody, which is exactly what my mom said. And again, you kind of start to doubt your own reality. Here's the thing. Early diagnosis can change or even save lives. If left untreated, bipolar disorder can lead to substance abuse, ding ding, strained relationships, ding ding, academic and job failure, academic ding ding, and sadly even suicide. In fact, about 25 to 50% of people with bipolar disorder attempt suicide at least once, and 15% die by suicide according to the DSM-5. I am unfortunately part of that 25 to 50%. It's not something I'm proud of or something I like to talk about, but it's something that's a very real part of my life, and it's something that I struggle with and have to, I don't want to say battle, but it can be a battle, because when you get to that point, it kind of takes over. There's no, I don't know, it's hard to explain. With the right support, treatment, and education, people with bipolar disorder can thrive. And I don't mean just survive, I mean live fully, creatively, and intentionally. As author Andrew Solomon puts it, the opposite of depression is not happiness but vitality. And I argue the same is true for bipolar disorder. It's about reclaiming your energy, your rhythm, and your story. So if you're listening to this and wondering if what you went through or what your kid, your sibling, or your friend is going through might be more than just a phase, here are a few signs of undiagnosed bipolar disorder in young people. Periods of unusually high energy or irritability, risky behavior or impulsiveness, intense mood swings that last for days or weeks, trouble with sleep, sleeping too little or too much, feeling hopeless and empty, or unable to enjoy life, and feeling like your emotions are out of your control. And if that hits home, talk to someone. Reach out to a mental health professional. You deserve to be heard and understood. Growing up undiagnosed with bipolar is like being in a maze with no map, but diagnosis isn't the end. It's the beginning of the map being drawn, piece by piece. I hope today's episode offered some clarity, some solidarity, maybe even a bit of hope. If you liked this episode, please share it. Someone you know might be living in that same maze. And if you've been through this journey yourself, I see you. You're not alone. Thanks for listening. Take care of your mind and take care of each other. And remember, you don't have to sit in the dark alone.